So I don't know what the deal is. My phone says it's time to go live, but my computer says it's not. So I hope your guys' computer is fine. Maybe the satellites crashed or something finally. Guys, tonight we are going to talk to Wally Kern about budgets. We're going to talk about how to turn some money into a lot of money. We're going to stretch it out. So specifically for our hobbies. So we're going to see how that works. So you can see in here? Okay, good. We're going to see how that works. We're going to see how things can go with that. We're going to see some fun stuff. Wally's got some fun stuff in store. At the end of the show, we're going to get a little personal because I had a scare the last couple of weeks, and it's cleared up now, but I'm going to discuss it because that's who we are. We're close. We're friends. Even Frank the Tank and the waffles obsession that he has. Eat ramen. Oh, ramen would be a good sponsor. We got Doug. We got Miso Pods. We got Frank the Tank. We got Aunt Sandy was here earlier. I finally figured out how to make Aunt Sandy and Beetle Guy mods, you guys. This is a big day. Angie Schwartz. I should just know. Aaron's Isopods. We got some new faces. If you're not subscribed, please do so. We have other fun stuff besides Wally, even though Wally's pretty fun. Speaking of Wally, let's bring him on and see what happens. There we go. Wally, you are live. Oh, Bioactivity's here. Justin Honer. I don't know if he's ready. All right, there's Nanette. How we doing, Nanette? You good? You're live, Nanette. Did you let Wally know? Is there a cue? Hello.
Some bags, only got $20 in my pocket. I'm looking for a return. This is fucking awesome. Walk into the club like, what up? I got a big head of times pumped up. I took tip from a thrift shop. Ice on the brand just so damn frosty. The people like, that's a cold, that's honky. Rolling in hella deep, headed to the mezzanine. Dressed in all pink, set my gator shoes. Those are green drapes and a leopard mink. Girl standing next to me. Probably should have washed this. Smells like R. Kelly sheets. But shit, it was 99 cents. I been copping it, washing it. About to go and get some compliments. Passing up on those moccasins. Someone else has been walking in, but me and grudgy fucking I'm stuffing it.
Yo, what's happening? Sup? What's up with you?
Guys, that was unrehearsed.
Welcome to the OGG Hood. This is the old Gecko guy.
Oh my God, I'm going to need a minute.
What's good, boy?
Oh, guys. I haven't seen Wally do Christmas or do characters since Christmas. And
Faux shizzle.
Faux shizzle. Wally. You got to pick a song that had the word honky in it. We're going to do this side so we can see Nanette. Wow, guys. It's a good thing I'm not monetized yet. We're going to keep that on the channel forever, even if we get 50,000 viewers. Oh, my God. I do need to work on my openings. I got to match that energy. Wally, welcome to the show, OGG.
You tight, boy.
I can't. You got to take the glasses off. I just can't.
Let's roll. Let's do it.
So, you broke my channel. So, guys, tonight we're going to talk about about budgets and try not to pee our pants a little bit. Looking at that, trying to hold it together. I appreciate it. That's willpower. The cringe-o-meter just broke. Y'all are hilarious. Hi, Frank. Menagerie's here. Someone post the clip on YouTube. Yeah, I think that's our first short. I got to pick that short and just take advantage of that. So, Wally, I can't follow that. I don't know what to ask now.
I tell you what, we'll make you all ballers. I'll break this budgeting thing down. Shorty, you chill a while. I'll get jiggy with it. We'll get these sneakers rolling. I'll be back.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. So, first off, Wally chose a song with the word honky in it. We all should know that's one of my favorite words in the English language. You guys, I can't stop crying. I literally have tears. That Nanette, you let him do that to me. I thought we were friends.
I had no control over this one.
I feel like that's pretty normal. Crazy Bugs and Paz is here. Chris Kern is here. That's Chris Kern. You're gonna want to rewind if you didn't catch the first few minutes. That's your son, right?
Oh yeah.
Nanette, yeah. Chris, you're gonna want to replay that at Christmas, Thanksgiving, Easter, whatever holidays you have. If you're hosting a anniversary party for Wally and Nanette, like have that out there on a big screen. Yeah, if that doesn't get a like spike, I don't know what will. So yeah, guys, my channel and Wally's channel are probably the only places you'll ever see that. So
I hope so.
Honky dory, everything's all honky dory. Yes, yes. 4 out of 15 likes. So yeah, I'm glad we didn't air this episode on 420 because that would have been even.
Oh, that would have been worse.
Yeah, we would have had some mixed messages. So where did he get the poncho?
That is actually Crystal's blanket. Crystal won that at a craft fair, and it's got a hood on it and the whole thing.
And it says, does it say OGG on it, or did you guys add that somehow?
Yeah, he created his necklace.
Oh God, just for the show. That's
Mm-hmm.
I gotta up my game. It like he just set the bar for my own show. And that's an innovation. How do you look? There we go. There's the spreadsheet guy we know and
I
love.
couldn't find my badge, my ID badge. Is it okay if I come in? Can I sit down?
Can we play White and Nerdy by Weird Al Yankovic now?
I'm the accountant. So we're going to go over some numbers and talk about calculations and spreadsheets. So we're going to have a good time with this show.
Later on, Menagerie, or no, Justin thinks you should snap into a Slim Jim later. So that was Reed. See, you went from the cool glasses.
Now I have my glasses. I can see. So we can get going with the show now.
Do I have to sit here?
Yes, you do. Where's my calculator?
No, we could kick him out. We could just
okay. What can I do? How are the numbers for this year? Are we looking low? ROI?
They're looking low. I don't know what you're talking about. We were just gonna go low key here on budgeting tips for these fine folks.
We are low key
because you have roughly how many animals? Roughly how many? Let's say bins.
You mean Wally or the accountant?
Wally. Let's talk to Wally. Let's loosen that tie a little bit.
Come to the show.
Yeah, he's just undressing.
You know, I came with all these 20s and I realized that I dropped about 20 of them on the way in. So
you also forgot something else.
You better hope Crystal. Crystal's not here.
Yeah, she'll have fun with us.
That door.
So how many animals do we have? Oh my gosh, I can't take off my tie without. Yeah, I can. We have. Yeah. How many animals do we have?
A lot. I wouldn't even know. I need my Pepsi.
Oh.
I can't think.
Where's my Pepsi?
Where's the spreadsheet?
Go get your icy.
I've got the spreadsheet up right here.
Okay, perfect.
Hey, can we go back to the Wally voice, please?
Yeah,
So
we just want the Wally, regular Wally, please. Thank
So
you.
what are we at? Like,
They
as far
all
as
left.
animals, yeah. Did everybody leave?
No, they
Probably.
they called their friends. We have more viewers now, so
So we have probably about 500 enclosures, and
Okay.
give or take 3 or 4 animals per.
okay.
So it's a lot.
So like 1,500, you'd say. Like we're not counting isopods and
You know,
springtails. And
probably about that. Probably about that.
Right.
wow. Okay. Is that including fish, or are you talking? We're talking reptiles,
Just
right?
reptiles.
That's just reptiles. That's not isopods. That's not fish.
Okay.
We've been working hard the last few days. I was just trying to increase the size of the net. We've been trying real hard recently, the last probably 2 or 3 weeks. So at one point last year, we were at, I would say, probably 150 enclosures for isopods. And just a couple of months ago, I got it down to 100. And then this last weekend, we're down to about 50. So
Okay. Good.
we're focusing more obviously on the geckos. And what I found out last year was that I was spending too much time, with the geckos, a lot of time with the fish, and not enough time with the isopods. And because of that, the ones that I really, really love to work with weren't getting as much time as they needed. So what I've done is I've moved out some of the ones that, either we're not making money with, or that, I just don't have a passion of working with.
The passion's the important part. But with great passion comes great deficit. So
Responsibility?
I'm going to say deficit. Yeah, because when I'm passionate about something, I'll spend any amount of money to make a project or an enclosure or a specimen happen, Actually, I'm really cheap about my specimens, but their setups is where I blow it up. So now you're upkeeping then 1,500 plus reptiles. We're not counting the rest.
Yep.
So your budget has to be crazy. I've seen some videos on your channel already that kind of address that, like feeders. Feeders is a big one. Yep. Pangea, or no, yeah, you're a Pangea guy, right?
Yep.
Okay. I couldn't remember. Somebody's a Rapashi diehard still, and I can't remember who it is. So I tried to talk them out. I tried to evangelicalize it. Unless Rapashi wants to throw us some money,
there you go.
Some sponsorhood this way. We'll be straight up Rapashi. I don't have a gecko right now, but we'll do something.
Alan, here's your opportunity right now. Jump in and sponsor this channel.
Boom. Is that the Rapashi guy?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. See, you know him. All right, cool. So for those of us, well, I guess not those of us, but so we could take, I think some of your tips could be useful to just about everybody. So you're doing mostly your own feeders now. Is that right? Are you breeding a lot of them, or am I wrong on that?
We're trying to supplement the feeders that we're buying as much as possible with the dubias that we're raising up. We're raising some mealworms. So the mealworms that we're raising, I feel like I have boa, that orange boa, all over myself. That was $1.99 in the store. So
worth it.
It was worth $1.99.
Yeah, it's probably not even worth that.
Priceless for us.
Oh, it was.
Your son is here, by the way, Wally. So
did he see?
I'm sure I have a text message from him.
I'm not sure he saw it, but I did tell him to rewind it and play it at every holiday, every family get together for the next few years. So yeah, that was well worth it.
Where's your icy?
We're already off track. Sorry. So feeders. So dubias, we feed a lot of dubias. We have. I shouldn't say I, because you work with the dubias.
I saw you.
How many dubias do we have? How many bins?
Oh.
So each one of these bins is probably about 30 gallons. 30 gallons.
Yeah.
8 bins.
10.
Did they
10.
freeze or did I?
10.
Or can you guys still hear them?
Yeah, we're here.
I look like I have connection.
We're good. I can hear you.
Oh, he's
Oh man,
He's
I have my
not-
Green Lantern shirt, so Wally has his Superman.
Oh, I love that shirt. I want one of those shirts.
Frank.
I'm a
just-
Green Lantern fanatic, so
Frank,
What's that?
Frank just said if he rips his shirt off and becomes Superman,
If I were to get a superhero shirt, it would be either Green Lantern or Flash. I like Flash.
we're gonna talk superheroes after the show,
he
guys.
better
Yeah,
not,
there you go.
better not have a Superman logo underneath that shirt.
He does have the underoos.
I don't.
He does have
I-
the underoos on right now, you guys.
If I took these off, I'd have nothing but a smile on.
Hey now.
Hey. So we do dubias, but we do them as a supplement because we're going out every couple of weeks and buying crickets. We buy mealworms, 40,000 large mealworms every
40,000.
Every-
Okay.
40,000 every 2 months. Did I say weeks?
Yeah.
Every 2 months. And then we buy about 20,000 mini mealworms about every 2 months as well. So our feeder budget is a significant part of what we're doing downstairs.
Sure.
Electric, water, all of the essentials. I'm replacing lights. I'm replacing fixtures when I need it. So there's a lot of maintenance that way too. And then you bring in, tubs and enclosures and new racks. This last year we brought in probably 6 or 7 or 8 new racks. One of the racks, the main rack that we brought in for our Australian geckos, our knobtails, that was in the end around probably about $2,000. So doing all of that, and that, but again, that was our most expensive rack.
Mhm.
And doing all that, you really have to kind of think through and have a plan. Obviously, if we went out and spent, I don't know how much all those racks were, but tried to do that at one time, I wouldn't have the time to put them all in and change over and everything. So we did it through the whole year. So you have to have a plan of how you're going to approach something like that, how you're going to attack it. And to relate it to somebody that's just keeping a handful of animals, maybe you want to upgrade enclosures. Maybe you're keeping your animals in tubs and you want to change them over to enclosures, or you want to do bigger enclosures. You're keeping them at a 12 by 12 by 18 and you want to do an 18 by 18 by 24. Just kind of take your time and walk through the process. I'm a big believer in spreadsheets, obviously. So anytime I do a new stand, anytime I do a significant, I'll call it a capital expenditure like that, I'm planning it out and trying to match it with, some of the bigger shows that we do so that it doesn't impact our budget that much.
Okay, so it's not you're planning ahead, so it's kind of in your budget.
It
As you're planning ahead, you have an idea of what it's going to be, so your budget's
Yeah.
not
So
right.
exactly. So at the beginning of the year, at the beginning of 2022, I obviously didn't have all of these racks planned, but I knew that I had to do racks, and I knew that I had certain income times where I could jump in and buy a rack. We would do a show, and we would have enough sales to then go ahead and do a rack. So it wasn't as impactful.
Okay, that's good. That's good. Because you're thinking, okay, the money from this show is going to go to buy Crystal hot dogs, and I'm assuming she's a hot dog kid. She looks like a hot dog kid.
Yeah, she'll eat them once in a while.
No, okay, nachos.
Once in a while.
She's a picky eater.
She's a taco eater.
She's like her dad. She's a picky eater. Christopher's a very picky eater.
Christopher's
Chris.
not her dad.
Or Jordan doesn't. Yeah, I don't
That's
know.
not
What
her
I was thinking.
dad.
I was looking to see if Christopher was in the chat. Sorry. We can edit that part out. Go ahead and snip that part when you publish the video. No.
I don't snip. I just delete a whole video. That's the only thing I've ever done. That was so sad. That was one time. Hopefully it doesn't happen again. I screen people better now. So I know I think I gave you on 3 times before I considered it screening. So where was I? So we're talking budgets. So then Are you bringing all the money from that one show to, like, you decide, like, hey, June 16th show, I'm going to have, I don't even know if there's a show there. I'm just throwing a day. So am I going to have all that money, all that profit go into racks?
We have a budget that accounts for things like feeders and new lights. A light goes out, I go out and replace a light.
Right. That's just
things like that. Yeah, general upkeep. keep the beast running, I call it. So those kind of things we have in the budget, and we kind of know from month to month, we're going to do about this much in isopods, we're going to do this much in animals, we're going to do about this much. We obviously have a little bit of money coming in from YouTube, and then we have a little bit of money coming in from the Buy Me a Coffee program. That
Sure.
goes into, equipment for the YouTube channel, but the other monies kind of pool up, and then we can take out of, that money, general maintenance and feeders and things like that. But, I do kind of rely on the shows because, we've had some pretty good shows, fortunately, and I can plan on that to do a rack or 2 racks or change something significant. Or, I can plan on that. If I don't have a capital expenditure like that designated, I can then take that money and maybe go out and buy a new animal or pair or, a group
Yeah.
of juveniles. Yeah.
Like those crazy leopard geckos that Crystal got for Christmas.
Exactly.
Those are a little pricey. I was looking around and yeah. My daughter's like, I told her you'll never have anything that costs that much. Not in this economy.
No.
Now, are your tips like, because a lot of people watching the show right now don't do shows. They're not big breeders. But I will say a lot of people watching this right now, whether it's right this second or later in the week, Wednesday is a big day. They probably have a lot of animals. So the tip, do you find like all of your equipment buying in bulk is way better if you can get it?
Exactly. And I'm going to back up a step or two and kind of talk about that planning part of it. I will say that with the planning, we have it not formal. We don't have it, like I was saying before, we don't have everything exactly budgeted, but what we do have is the main expenditures budgeted. But I'll say with, everybody watching, if you're good with the family budget, you'll be good with your business, with your hobby budget. If you're not good with the family budget, you're not going to be good with your hobby budget. And, my opinion is that you just can't go spending willy-nilly, or else you'll get behind the 8 ball really, really quick. You kind of have to plan a little bit. So, the first thing that you should do is sit down and say, this is what my goal is in the next 4 months. Take 4 months, take 6 months, whatever you want to do, and say, I want to do this. So that's the outgoing. So you have to obviously match the incoming. Are you going to pull out of, family expenditures or income? How are you going to manage that? If that's how you're going to work it, I'm going to go out and buy a new bearded dragon and it's going to come out of my salary from work. Super cool. That works fine. But if you're going to do a little bit more than that, you kind of have to have a spreadsheet and you have to go through that process. So if you don't understand budgeting, you really need to sit down with a YouTube video or something and kind of practice it a little bit, if that makes sense.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Christopher said he took money out of your allowance, his allowance. You could earn something now if you wanted to come out here tonight and work on my car.
Yeah, see, get out there. That'll help the budget. Get out there, Chris. Come on. What are you doing? You're watching this show and not helping out Mom and Nanette?
Yeah.
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 Yeah. So now, so working on it. Okay, so check out YouTube videos or whatever resource you have to learn how to budget. That's a big one. What else? No, thank you. I'm busy packing for a tournament. Okay.
And then plan it a little bit. If you have something that you want to do, plan it a little bit. Maybe, if you're not able to take it out of your salary or incoming money, then you need to find another source somewhere. And I think that's getting back to the question that you asked. So how do you find sources of income with your reptile hobby? There's just so many ways. People, I don't think, realize how many ways there are. Obviously you can sell your babies. Obviously Morph Market is huge right now. You can use Morph Market for free. Take good pictures of your animals, put them out on Morph Market and sell your babies. Kind of look around, research, find out about what your animals are worth. If you're doing chameleons and you're doing panther chameleons, find out what the panther chameleons are going for in Morph Market and kind of position yourself. If you need something right now, kind of drop the price a little bit. If you want to buy something, a little bit bigger, then kind of price it a little higher, and you might just have to wait, but you might, waiting, you might get a little bit more too. So Morph Market, you could sell your animals. You can sell stuff sitting around your home. We have a hat rack, a coat rack that's sitting in the garage. We could take that and put it on our next door neighbor site or Facebook Marketplace or somewhere like that. We do shows, so we're selling the babies. We're selling, isopod cultures. We're selling gecko babies, but we also bring a bunch of other stuff too. How much, so we started doing isopods a couple of years ago, and then we started doing the food, the Supreme Isopod Shell, and then, we did that, and that was comfortable. Then we started adding things to that. This last show, we bagged up leaves, and I think we've maybe done that. This is the second show we've ever done that. But how much did we make in just selling leaves?
Oh, I made $130 in leaves.
For leaves, and that's just literally buying and sterilizing. And your sterilization process is still the same. Just put them in black garbage bags, throw them out in the yard.
Garage. Yep.
Throw them out there, let them sit. We get asked that at the show. The bags sit out in the garage for a year, and they're okay. So what's the work in doing that? You're raking your yard anyways. Throw them in black bags and throw them out.
As long as they're untreated.
And just think about, exactly. You don't want, if you're using fertilizer or stuff like that. So again, how much did we make for leaves? And I'm not bragging at all. I'm saying it was
$130, and I get $30 out of a big black garbage bag. So I sold
30 bags. You get
30 bags, gallon-sized bags I got. And so then I sold $130 though worth this time.
So look for little things like that. Go to a show and find out what people have on their tables and say, can I do that? Can I do a table? Can I take leaves and create a small, Etsy or, your own webpage or Square or Weebly or something like that, and put on leaves or make some crafty things, find a place to make stickers and do stickers, anything to start that income stream, start it as soon as you can. So there's just a ton of ways to do this. If you're, like me, if I'm breeding my feeders, maybe I have too many and now I have to start selling some. Hey, local pet store, do you want to buy some mealworms from me? There's just so many ways to make money with reptile related things.
I see a lot of people making the bulk of their money. A lot of breeders right now, isopods, making money on the dry goods. That's like their base, and then whatever they sell isopods for is like the gravy, right? All the kind of people like, what Kyle from Isopods Anonymous is like the number one example. So he went crazy into isopods, and then the sales kind of like up and down. The sales either it's feast or famine with isopods. Either people want to spend money or they don't. But the substrates, the leaves, the bark, the mosses, whatever, that's a steady stream of income. People are always going to basically need those things if they don't want to do it themselves. So I like that idea. My wife's going to be upset because we're going to have a lot of bags of leaves in the yard this year. So, and I don't rake my own yard, so I let it go for the butterflies and the bees and whatever.
Hire a kid for $20 to rake your front yard, and then say, well, I need them in a bag. You have to bag them. So here's another $10. So you have $30, sell them for $5 a piece, and it doesn't take long to make that up. You started doing isopod setups. So that was probably 6-8 months ago.
Yeah.
How much do you think? And again, I'm not just throwing the numbers out to say, oh, look what I'm saying. This is such an opportunity. How much have we made in isopod setups, do you think?
We sell a couple every show. And I'm selling them for $16 a piece.
And it probably costs us $5
at the most.
$1, probably not even that.
Sorry.
No, that's all right. A $1, 6-quart tub. You drill a couple of holes in it, and throw the hot glue screen on, and you're done.
Well, and then it's got the dirt,
the leaves, a little bit of bag of food, some sphagnum moss.
It's maybe $5.
if that. Yeah.
We're making $11 on a box.
So
you've got so much of that stuff laying around. It's like utilizing what you have basically to make some extra money, and that'll totally. I love. Excuse me. I love when I can get my hobby to pay for itself.
And,
You know what
and
I
I
mean?
think a lot of people start off that way. I know I did with the fish. You know, if I sell more, if I raise these babies and I can sell them, then I can buy better fish and bring them into the house. And so it starts with that. With I want to get better, bigger, better, more expensive animals. So to enable that, then I have to sell some stuff. And as I sell stuff, then I can afford better stuff.
That's perfect. That's perfect. Yeah, when I was breeding beta fish, that was one of the things that I budgeted because I had to set up for having, 500 beta fish at once, beta splendids. So, and I was doing it like competitively. So it was kind of crazy. So at one point I was getting like $80 fish for the good fish. And that really helped to put the money back into, all of that money went back into the fish. And that was a great hobby. So I kind of want to get back into that again, but it's such a huge time suck.
It is. And all the different water changes you have to do, and you just need an automated system. That's what you need.
That I never got around to that, but I had my own little jury rigged. I'm a DIY. I have to try to do some contraption. So I did have that going, but some things happened and I couldn't maintain it for a couple weeks, and it basically crashed. So sad day. That's probably I have emotional damage from it. That's probably why I don't get back into it.
Emotional damage.
You know how you just get so wrapped up in it. But yeah, so to have all of that, unfortunately, I had a great living situation. I didn't really have a lot of bills, but no overhead personally. So no personal family to speak of that I had to take care of. So all of that money could go right back into the hobby or the occasional night out, Now things are different. So I have a lot of overhead now as far as like personal life, right? It doesn't even include the animals. So, and I have a hard time with the time investment of it. But the budget part of it isn't so bad unless you're getting that big animal. I think that's the biggest investment because a lot of times the animal can be more than the setup, no matter how nice your setup is.
I'm going to talk a little bit more if it's okay, and if this is your direction, about how to cut your costs. But from an income standpoint, we talked about a couple of ways to make a little bit of money. Anything that you can do, I think, can just go right back into your hobby. When we started doing this, I saw that YouTube could be a source for income, and now our YouTube channel is bringing in a little bit of money. And we're doing the consultations that's bringing in a little bit of money. So just look for little pockets and look at other people and what they're doing. How about hats? How about find somebody that can design a logo for, if you have an idea, go to Fiverr and have somebody do a logo for you for $20, throw them on a $6 shirt, and then sell them for $25. Just there's if you're thinking about moving forward in the hobby and you want bigger and better, then think about all these other income streams, because every single one monthly will bring in enough to hopefully support you moving forward.
That's what you want. This is my buddy selling me out here. This is my long-term friend Reed. He's right. No, they used to make me money when I didn't have to spend money on anything else. That is good. Cutting costs is a great way, but I think it's very difficult. People think they cut costs and then they go to an expo and they buy 5 more animals. And that's really hard. That really affects your budget, I feel like. I've recently turned down a lot of animals because I don't have the space or the time. I'm working on 4 projects, and that my secret for that is to get a lot of those projects, like building 3 vivariums from scratch, is you get all the materials together piece by piece, and all those materials cross trade. I'm using all those materials for each enclosure, like it's going to do all 3. So it's an expense, but it's an expense for 3 potentially beautiful enclosures. At some point, they're going to be beautiful.
So you're kind of planning. I'm thinking I'm putting words in your mouth, but correct me if I'm wrong. You're planning that ahead. So I'm going to have 3 enclosures. So when I go out, I'm not going to buy 1 plant. I might buy 10 plants. Maybe 3 for each one. So maybe I'm going to save a little bit with the plants. Maybe I can put, and I do this, I swear, all the time. I bet you I spend an hour or 2 a day thinking through stuff like this, going on, Amazon, going through Instagram and seeing other people's setups and how can I, improve. Number 1, improve the husbandry, that I'm providing. But number 2, how can I do what they're doing and maybe save some money? So maybe I can take those enclosures, put them together, so now you have 3 feet or 6 feet or whatever it is. And instead of buying 1 light, you can buy, or I'm sorry, instead of buying 3 lights, you can buy 1 light.
Yep.
And save that way. So it's a constant, battle to kind of play with everything. Now, the other, side of the equation is, Mr. Accountant, you've got one side where you're saving some money, but the other side, you're spending a lot of time researching all of this. And obviously your time is money as well. If you have the time to research, and I love doing that, that's why I do it. That's great. But, sometimes, you don't have the time to do that.
That's why it's been really slow going. I have all the materials and everything I need to build these enclosures, and it's been like it's in spurts. So I have to get not be exhausted from all of these other projects that I have going on. So I think I have 72 projects going right now. And some are going, some are on pause. Then the other ones will be on pause. Some of them will be going. But now that now that it's nice out, I've got to get gardens going and get all that going, help neighbors. It's just ridiculous. Like, time is not, I can't even say it's precious because I throw it all away, It seems like that sometimes. Costco pizza is a great way to budget. Yes, Frank nailed it. Just eat Costco pizza and you'll have so much money left over. You can go eat it there too. You don't even need to leave.
Yeah.
You don't even need to use your oven. Yeah. Oh, the
you do it on the
samples.
right day, you get sample day. You're really saving.
I feel like those sample people know that I'm trying to be a Costco on a budget, and they see me come. They're like, "Look at this rube." It's like Carney's watching somebody come up to the ring toss, like, "Sucker, I got him." He thinks he's going to win the big panda. He's not.
What you need to do with those food samplings is walk through and then, put on your accountant disguise, and then maybe put on your Macklemore disguise.
Please don't.
My boombox. I got a boombox. I could just. And then come through with
Where
the
do you
boombox
get
too.
rotisserie chickens for $5?
Costco.
Really?
Well, you get yesterday's chicken for $5, as far as I know. We just got 3 pounds of the dark quarters for $5. It was 3 pounds of their rotisserie chicken is
Maybe
the
we need
best
a Costco membership.
Maybe we do.
You do. I'm going to tell you right now, you do. Get some of your kids to have their mail delivered to your house so they can get in on it. They have proof that they live there. That's what we did with my mom. So, Costco helps, which is, if you, bringing it back to that, if you can buy in bulk, if you have enough animals that it makes it legitimate to buy in bulk, because buying, if you're small end, like you guys are spending, how much? Do you still buy crickets or no?
We do.
Yeah.
We're going through 4,000 to 5,000 to 6,000 every 2 weeks.
And it's 1,000 in a case, right? It's 1,000 a box.
Yep.
In a box.
Yep.
Okay.
So that's besides all the mealworms. That's beside the dubias that we're growing ourselves. And especially in the springtime, we're religious about feeding crickets every other week, if not every week. So again, I mentioned the other mealworms and other foods that we're feeding. We're buying fruit flies once in a while. We're playing around with black soldier flies. We're playing around a little bit with silkworms, but Pangea obviously is a big cost for us. So what we'll do for us is, instead of buying the 18 ounce, we used to buy Pangea. We used to buy 3 or 4, or what did I say? Pangea. Yeah, Pangea. Instead of buying, a pound bag or a 2-pound bag, we'll buy several 10-pound bags. Now, that's because I know that we're going to use that probably in the next 6 to 8 months. So you kind of have to balance that too. It doesn't, really pay if you buy it and then you buy 6 bags and 2 of them aren't good after 6 months, you have to throw them away. That's
Well, you save on shipping by buying it all.
save on shipping. Good call. So when we buy mealworms, we're buying again 20 or 40,000 at a shot, and then we'll take those mealworms and we'll keep out what we can use for the next 2 weeks, and everything else goes in the fridge, in a fridge downstairs, not with our meatloaf and other stuff. So that goes downstairs, and then 2 weeks later, 3 weeks later, we pull out another pan of mealworms, warm them up, gut load them, and they're ready to feed again. So buy in bulk, it saves, obviously when you buy in bulk, but it also, like you were saying, it saves on shipping too.
Yeah, and proper storage. Like, so things don't go bad. If you can get that, if you have that available to you, a lot of the things I feel like you can use from around the house, things you already have to help extend the life of a lot of your stuff, right? Especially those of us that keep a lot of things. I don't know about you. I have a lot of empty bins on reserve, kind of, just because I downsize. So I have a ton of empty stuff over in the corner,
Yes.
ready to go. So, and the wife, when she sees that pile, she's like, "What's coming into the house?" Nothing, I swear.
Oh, nothing.
If you come down and you can't find me because there's bins to the ceiling, I don't even know how that got there. That was the ghost.
That's always been there. What are you talking about? I've always had that. You don't notice what I have. You don't care. You don't care at all what I have down here.
She cares now. She comes down when I'm at work and does inventory. She found out I have the tarantula. So, yeah. She found out from the show. She happened to see something on the show that was like me admitting it, that she didn't know. And she was extra mad that all of you knew and she didn't know. Yeah. So, Baum Exotics, if you're going to watch, that's a new face, I think. If you're going to watch this, the beginning of this on your lunch break, make sure it's like in your car or something. Just
Please.
Yeah. Try to watch it somewhere quiet.
Quietly.
We're not talking about the elf here, Frank. You're on the wrong channel.
Frank, that's
What
old
elf?
history. The elf is gone. What elf?
I thought he got murdered. Didn't he get murdered?
The little. I see.
Oh,
Tank.
So we were talking about bulk.
Yeah, we still are. Yeah, sorry.
So isopod food. A lot of people will buy fish flake food instead of the Supreme Isopod chow. But anyways, they'll buy the fish food to go with the Supreme. So
You
they'll
don't
buy
have to do that anymore. You can buy the protein one.
There you go.
It's better. I checked out the ingredients and the percentages, and it's better. And it's cheaper. It's honestly it's cheaper.
Yes. So what do you think a bottle like this would cost? You get
$8.
$8. How about our viewers? How much is this canned bottle of fish food? What do you think?
Oh snap! We just turned into The Price is Right. What?
Winner gets this bottle. No, I don't know. I think I already.
Winner gets this bottle.
Opened it, and now it's all over the floor.
Tetra. Is it Tetramin?
It is Tetracolor, which I don't know why I got because I hate the color enhancers. But anyways, so $1.50. No, Frank, it's not $1.50.
$10.
I think it's probably about $8 to $10. So you can do this, but if you're into isopods, you can do this. Turn it the right way.
You're gonna wear
if you're
that
into
thing in a minute.
isopods, why would you buy $10? How many ounces is this? This is 4. It's 2.5 ounces. 2.5 ounces.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's nothing. It's nothing.
Almost 2 pounds. Almost 2 pounds. And this, I bet, was probably $30.
Wow.
So if you know you're going to use it and go through it, buy in bulk. It saves. We do this with the isopods. I feed the fish, obviously. So we go through a lot of fish food. Yeah. I nibble on it once in a while. So it's good stuff. Yeah. I don't like the color. I've nibbled on the color and
does it change your color?
Turns me red.
Is your eyes changed?
To brown.
It makes him grow an orange feather boa. It makes him grow the orange feather boa. That's
Can I just say that I do not like being up front?
No, you can't. So we also, go through a lot of vitamins and calcium D. Buy in bulk. Don't buy those little, 2-ounce cans. This is 32 ounces. And we probably spend, maybe twice as much as those little 2-ounce bottles.
Good comment.
What's that?
One of the best
Yeah.
ways to enjoy the hobby on a low budget. Do not impulse buy. Only
Yeah.
plan. Set some prices and wait.
Yes, absolutely.
I-
The
Calcium is the eggshells.
calcium is eggshell. So for isopods, we grind our own eggshells. I enjoy kind of sitting down and doing the grinder thing with the eggshells, and obviously that's going to save you money. Save you money. Go out and get your own leaves. Go get your own leaves. Don't go online. Don't buy from Wally Kern at Supreme Gecko for $5 a bag. Go out and rake your yard.
Buy from me.
No,
I got 40 bags in the
don't do
garage.
that.
Buy
Stop.
from Nanette Kern. Don't buy from Wally.
If you're getting plants, these don't die. And these are like $1 at the plants at the dollar store.
$1.25 now.
$1.25 store. These are $1.
Yeah, right. They should change their names to like $1.20 store, $1.25 general, $1.25
You realize everything
tree.
you're throwing on the floor, you're picking up.
We're talking about places for your geckos to hide. We're not talking
careful.
about the floor. So
Under those 20s. You can hide under those 20s you've been throwing around.
there you go. Now I'm out of 20s now. I don't know if the kids came in and stole that for their allowance. But so for hides, we have a lot of animals that are African, sand, arid, and they need hides. Go out and buy a box from Home Depot or one of your home improvement stores. Take it out to your front step. Tile. What did I say?
You just said buy a box.
Buy a box of tile. I like these terracotta tile.
Okay.
And take it out to your front step and just step on it, and it breaks it off into squares. And you can use the squares, little rocks, a little hide for them.
Sweep up the steps after you're done, because there's little remnants.
No, I don't do that.
I do.
Hides. We have a lot of little geckos. I love these little dishes, these little black dishes. I think they're so cool. They're like 3 ounces or whatever, solo cups. So we'll use this for our dubias. We'll put the food in there for the dubias. We'll put it in for the crickets. We'll use these for, a group of geckos. But what's really cool, take your tin snips and notch out a little V, and your geckos can kind of crawl in there. So 50 cents, folks, a hide. So what are hides in the store? Something like this, maybe $10, 50 cents.
For one?
Yeah.
No.
Not for one of those little ones,
No,
but like that.
Pay $1.25
Like
for
$5.
the plastic ones.
No, not these. $1.25 for the hides. Do you mean this hide right here? Are you talking about, if I can find it?
Also, Nanette, while he's looking for that, Nanette, you're so annoyed with him putting his arm in your face. You told him you were fine sitting there. This is on you.
He said, I don't like sitting here.
Do you mean this hide right here? This one?
Those are more expensive. I'm talking about the flower pots, plastic flower pot bottles.
Again, I'm
Those
talking
are
about
$1.25.
those PetSmart.
Oh,
Pets
you're not
Plus.
going to the. Okay, got it.
When have I ever gone there for anything other than frozen fish food? So
Well, that's what I'm saying.
You could do something like this for $5, but you can also do something like this, or
When you
we
buy a
get
case of those.
Yeah, you can buy a case of these things for 10, 20 cents a piece. Chinese food comes in those black containers with the clear. Throw the clear thing out. Throw the Chinese food out now. Eat the Chinese food. Take that container, turn it upside down, put a notch in it, and you have a hide.
And give the Chinese food leftovers to your isopods.
Yeah,
and
don't
you'll
eat
have
the
sweet and
leftovers.
sour isopods. It's beautiful.
We
Frank has
found.
me wanting to eat flake food. All right.
Who does?
Frank wants him to eat flake food.
No, he has me wanting. He said it was delicious. So here we go.
Yeah, Frank's family buys mini lasagnas.
There you go. If you eat that flake food, I'll give you this dish the next time I see you.
All right, I'm waiting. Frank, it's not delicious. Yeah, it's not delicious.
Here, drink some Coke or soda.
That's Pepsi.
Pepsi.
Don't waste my Pepsi on that.
On him?
Terracotta
On Josh?
pots.
Frank
terracotta pots.
So I found these about 10 years ago. I love them. This is a terracotta pot. It leaches the water out. It's really super cool. But these are like $10. So we went to the $1.25 store and found like a pack of 3 of these. Again, if I had my tin snips, You know, nobody's going to look at. I don't even know what this thing is for. It's a planter.
It's
you
a
put
planter,
plants
you
in.
put 3
So
plants
take
in
this
it.
and notch. Now you have 2 hides that if you have animals, they can be separated a little bit. So kind of go walk into those $1.25 stores and use your imagination.
I feel like even if you have a multi-gecko setup, if you just put an opening on each, she's gonna murder you. We're gonna see a live murder. I can't monetize this video
Can
at
I
all.
see those tin steps?
No, they're over
Yeah,
here.
no, don't
Okay.
do it.
So what do you guys feed
Oh God, that was
your
not good.
mealworms in? What do you feed your mealworms in? Because we go out to a couple of sites, and I can't even get the top one, but we get these mealworm cups. Hopefully that shows up. It has the removable top. Use this. The mealworms can't get out. We do our dubias in this cup as well. We put calcium and vitamins in the bottom of this. I'll also take crickets and I'll dust them. I'll put them in a fruit fly cup, dust them, and I'll put the crickets in here, and they'll walk around and around and around. They'll stay in a cup like this for 20, 30 minutes before eventually, crawling on each other and getting out.
That's plenty of time. There's plenty of time.
Plenty
for
of
to
time.
get in there.
So these cups are like 50 cents, $1.
We
And-
wash
and-
them out.
And if
vinegar,
you're buying,
vinegar and water.
I can't tell you how long we've had some of the
Oh, they're
cups. Years
forever.
and years.
What are they for? What are those originally for?
These are mealworm cups. They're actually called mealworm cups.
When they can't crawl out.
Yeah.
Okay.
All supplies.
There's a lip. This thing has a lip. I don't know if you can see.
Yeah. No, I think we all know what you're talking about. But yeah. Well, if you're my boss's boyfriend who's watching this now, you don't know. But look it up. Google it. You'll be fine. You'll be fine, Dave. Welcome to
So
the show.
instead of $10, at Pets, and I'm not advocating not going to these stores.
Pet
I'm just
stores.
saying, something like this is all that you need. And this is way better than some of those dishes that the animals might not be able to even get into.
Yeah,
My
or get out
favorite.
again.
Or get out again. My absolute favorite thing that we have downstairs that is invaluable are these little 2-inch condiment cups.
They're petite cups.
They're petite
Yeah.
cups. So you can buy these at Webstaurant in a box of like 200. You can buy them from Supreme Gecko if you want, just a handful. But these guys I use for water dishes for geckos. It's short enough. You can see how flat it is that the animals can actually jump right in here and drink, or I'll throw mealworms in here and they'll go right in and eat the mealworms. We use these. If you have crested geckos, these are perfect diet dishes. You can put a little, for babies, you can put a little tiny bit in a corner right here. If you have a group like a male and a female together, fill up the cup, put it in there, and the crested geckos can't knock the cup over. And
They are clumsy.
throw them into a 6-quart. You can stack like 50 of them into a 6-quart. Throw some water in there. Let them sit a day. Come back and take your thing and wash the water out, and pretty much the food comes right off. Or here's a really cool tip, something that we do. If there's still a lot of diet in there, let's say we were feeding crickets and the animals didn't eat all the diet, I'll take the cups if there's a lot of diet in here, and I'll put them on a shelf and just let them sit there. And after a couple of days, it dries up. I then take that and I'll invert them and throw them into our mealworm containers, and the mealworms go nuts for this. So we'll leave them in a mealworm container, and a day later, these cups will look exactly like this.
Christopher's talking about how you have the air cool system for cleaning those cups, that you need to do a video on them.
I do.
We don't do that system though anymore, Christopher.
For the cups?
He corrected.
I think he's talking about the basket
Oh, yeah.
that we used to do.
That is pretty cool.
He has the kids clean them. That's a great system. Yeah, have the kids.
Yeah,
clean.
the kids.
Earn your keep, kids.
Roaches
See, there you
clean
go, guys.
dishes too. Frank, we used to put them in our
Roaches,
Bubia bins too when they were
yes.
dry.
Yes.
I just don't like going in there to get them all out all the time then.
Well, go ahead.
I was going to say, we talked about hides before, for your animals, and everybody knows what a laid box humid hide is. Again, these are the $1.25, and you get 2 or 3 of them. Bring them home, cut a hole in them. Put it back on, put some peat in there, put it back on, moisten the peat, and you've got your hide.
Beautiful.
Look at the
You got your
bottom, you
humidity.
can find the eggs. So these are 50 cents or so. For babies, you want hides. You want something for the baby crested geckos to go into. I'll be right back. Talk amongst yourselves.
Talk amongst yourselves.
Where are we
I will
going now?
say, I think it's really funny. My wife thinks it's funny when we walk it through like the Tupperware aisle or the container aisle at Target or Walmart or whatever. And my eyes lock onto something, and she knows I'm not looking at it for the house. I'm looking at it for isopods or ants or whatever. Because I'll be like, oh, I have the tubing. I could connect all these together and make a crazy ant thing all over. And she just is like, come on, no, we're not doing. You have to wait another year to grow another ant colony.
Who else does that in the comments? Who else does that? They'll walk down, $1.20.
Oh God, I don't remember.
And
Market,
then
wherever.
looks at all the items as, how can I use that? I don't do that anymore, simply because I just, it's cool because I can get free stuff right from our kitchen. I can go to our kitchen and grab all kinds of neat stuff, and it's
better
free.
not be from my
It's
kitchen.
free. You don't have to buy it. So
It's going to
hides.
take you an hour to clean your office tonight.
So I'm going to show you
That
something.
was, hold on. That was the first video I ever saw of yours. You were mixing something. I want to say it was either substrate. You were mixing. Yeah, it was a substrate because I was looking for a substrate recipe, and you had Nanette's mixing bowl, hypothetically. You said it was. I don't know for sure that's what it was. And her spoon. And a mixing spoon from there. Nanette this was like 3 years ago, so I'm assuming you have new ones.
Oh
yeah.
No, that was Russ. I remember that Russ's
No.
video. Yeah, that was super
No,
cool.
that was you.
That
I
was
remember
cool.
seeing the
I
video.
bet you he got in trouble.
Mhm.
I bet he did. I bet your alter
He
ego
did.
Russ got in trouble.
Sure.
Wally and Russ are the same guy. Wally's going to reveal it at the end of the episode.
Sure.
Pull off his mask and be like, hi, everyone. Welcome to Russ's Isopod Hour.
So we have baby crested geckos set
Where are
up
my
in
glasses?
these 6 quarts with a top and some holes in them. Actually, we do the vents, but we need hides. So we'll do the paper towel. We'll put some plastic
Is that
plants
razor
sometimes.
blade you're
Yeah,
swinging?
it doesn't matter. I'll try not to bleed on you. Here's what's cool. This is
he
super
bleeding?
cool. So
No,
for
not yet.
Okay.
hides, here's what I do. I take one of these styrofoam egg things.
Oh, yeah? Okay.
I should have grabbed a sharp razor blade.
You think? You talked to me about me making noise in that microphone.
I know. Everybody's like getting out of here now.
Styrofoam and a knife, Wally. Great episode. You went from here to here. We're down to 3 viewers. Thanks, Wally.
Are we really
No.
down to 2? We have 2 people, you and I.
Me and you.
Yeah. So you
People
can
log
take the tops.
so fast.
You can take the tops. I'm sorry, I'm doing
You're
this, but
fine.
you can take the tops and they can get under there. You can
Okay.
mist and it doesn't, get bad. It doesn't get moldy. But also, I'm going to do this the fast way
I was wondering why you're using a razor blade, because I only use the egg part.
because I'm anal and I want everything
He
to have a
uses
real nice edge
every
and everything.
Single
Okay.
thing.
So you can take the bottoms, the egg portions. I love this. And you can put them into the 6 quart and you can mist this. You can see how there's little grooves. You can mist it and the water actually stays there, gives extra humidity to the little 6 quart, but also provides a place for them to drink. And they'll climb under here and use it as a hide.
Okay.
That's my
Awesome.
tip today.
Where's your paper curtains?
Okay.
That's like a
Oh.
big one.
Okay, we use a lot of these. So who knows what this is?
That's a
Everybody knows
dollar
what that
piece
is.
at the show.
They sell these for $1 a piece. At
Buck
the
a
show.
piece at the show. I saw them the last time.
I saw
So-
both order go for a ton, and I was blown away. I couldn't believe it. It was like a stack. My buddy's friend got it, and he messaged me like, "What does this go for reptile guys?"
Oh,
I don't even know. They sold it for $60.
oh.
It was like 30 of them. I couldn't believe. I was like, what?
Well, I'm going to tell you how much we spend on these in just a second. We use these for obviously crickets and dubias and mealworms and
Sure.
just about everything else. But I'll use them. You know, I showed you the tile earlier as hides.
Yep.
So we'll take these and break them up and stack them on top of each other. And now, instead of all those tile and weight and hard to break up and everything, we've got these egg cartons that I can use. And after about a month, I throw them away.
Now, you don't have to throw them away. You can use them again. So put them in a bin, and when you have a minute, shred them or mash them up, and you can put those in your isopod substrate.
There you
For
go.
more
Absolutely.
aeration, and they actually can nibble on it, and it's basically just cardboard. So
Yep.
there's nothing in that. So if you're giving it to your roaches or whatever, it's not toxic. So that's another reuse, you guys. Reuse, reduce, recycle.
Good call. Good
Yeah.
call. And they're fairly clean. You know, after the geckos for a month, they're not that dirty, and the roaches are going to eat, and the isopods are going to eat that anyways.
Yeah.
So for those flats, how much have we spent for egg flats in the last 10 years?
Nothing.
How many have we
A
got?
breakfast. When we've gone out to breakfast.
How many do we go through, would you say, in a month?
In a month? We probably go about 200.
I would say
150 to 200.
probably 50 to 100.
No, I would say a lot more than that.
So we're going through a lot of these egg cartons because of the feeders, but we don't pay. Well, we go out to breakfast once in a while at a local restaurant. And I think the first or second time we were there, we asked,
My friend.
you've got your friend, but we asked you guys, what do you guys use the egg flats for when you're done, with the eggs? Oh, we throw them out. Would you mind, after we've been there a couple of times, they know that we're repeat customers. Would you mind just saving some of them for? So now we go there and there's 3 boxes waiting for us every single time.
503, we used to get them from the George Webbs in town here. I
Yes.
had asked them one time, and I used to go once a month and pick them up. And now they're not there any longer. So a friend of ours has a restaurant, so that's where we get them. We get them all the time. She'll say to me, Nanette, I've got 3 boxes for you. Come and pick them up.
I don't even know what a George Webb's is.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know what that is.
You don't know what George Webb's is?
I've never heard of it. And I've been to Wisconsin. I've spent a lot of time around you guys.
George
But
Webb's is more.
Do you know
than just
what a
Wisconsin,
Culver's is?
isn't it?
I know Culver's. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, George Webb's, I think, is
Is it only
Wisconsin?
Wisconsin?
Yeah.
We don't have George Webb's here in Illinois as far
George
as I
Webb's
know.
is a greasy breakfast place, but a very good greasy breakfast place.
I mean,
It's
the
a
greasier
good
the
dad
better.
Greasy
It is. Well,
place.
it's the good old diner.
Greasy Spoon Diner. Greasy
There you
Spoon
go.
Diner.
It is.
My wife was against those until we got married. Because I would stop at I would look for old Cadillacs in the parking lot.
Mhm.
And if it had 3 old Cadillacs or more, we were eating there
Yep.
on a road trip. And she was totally against it. She's like, this place looks like a shithole. Sorry. This is the show. You get to hear the SH word, guys.
Christopher
And
says it's similar
now
to
she's so-
Waffle House.
Okay.
I've
Do
never
you get
been
in
to
fights?
Waffle House.
Can you get in fights there, Chris?
You get in fights at Waffle House?
Oh, yeah. You. Yes.
Yeah. Do you?
I
Christopher?
don't.
I've never been to a Waffle House.
Yeah, you can. You can definitely. Yes, you can get in a fight there. Awesome. Going to George Webb's or whatever. The Webbinator.
Caramelized onions. Those were at Webb's all the time.
All right,
everything.
we're so off track at George
We're
Webb's.
so
I
off
bet
track.
they have good budget prices there, though, right? 'Cause it's any greasy spoon you go where there's old people. There's good prices and great portions.
Watch this segue. So speaking of eating, when you get mealworms in for your geckos to eat, sometimes if you buy in bulk, you get these mesh bags. If you take these mesh bags, instead of buying the fancy dancy chiffon and any kind of other screening, you can cut these up and you can put it right on your tubs free.
Beautiful.
there's
You
Save money.
can also use those in planted aquariums. You fill them with your substrate lay them down, and then bury that with sand. And then you're good to go. It looks beautiful. Your plants have the nutrients they need, and they can grow into the mesh, actually. And that mesh is totally not toxic and basically neutral.
That is a great idea. Hats off to you. Danette, take your hat off.
I have my fancy new headband on. My hair's too long.
You didn't tell me to wear a hat.
To wear
That
a
is
hat.
fancy.
Or, yeah.
That's like gangsta. You should have done more today.
I didn't know we were doing that, or I would have. So I would have worn my leprechaun hat. And yeah. My daughter found I have a costume box of old costume props. And so she makes me get stuff out now. She's gone through it a couple times. So St. Patrick's Day, for some reason, was huge for her. So she made me be a leprechaun. And so she caught me and got a wish. But I said I needed something from her to give her a wish. She had to pay for it. And she said, what do I pay? And I said, I need a toe. And so I pretended to take off her toe and eat it. And I said, now what's your wish? And she says, she's 5. She says, I wish I had my toe back.
Did you make her cry?
No,
like,
she just.
I want my toe back.
She's not that old that she thought I really took her toe. She thought it was funny. But she looked real serious and she was like, I think I want my toe back. I wish I had my toe back. And yeah, my kid's adorable. She comes up with stuff like that all the time. But I could have worn my
speaking of feeders, another thing that you can do to save money, you can breed your own fruit flies. I didn't do this for years and years and years, and I'd pay $20 a month for feeders for fruit fly feeders. So about 2 or 3 months ago, I experimented and I kind of came down with the right formula. And it takes a little bit of time, but now I make my own. I haven't bought fruit flies for 2 or 3 months. So breed your own fruit flies. So because it's so easy and it costs like almost nothing. I bet you one of these is like 50 cents, whereas you buy it and it's $7 or $8, $10.
You have to move your camera. I need to see the pile of crap you have behind you at the end of the episode.
Dishes, bottle caps.
Oh,
dishes,
yeah. I use those
water,
for my ants. Absolutely.
right?
100%. Yes.
You use those for hides for the micros too. You notch those out.
Yeah, I'm running out of stuff here. Who has a label maker? Who does the labeling? And
I do.
You do the labeling. Yeah, that's right. I don't do that at all.
No, I do that on the computer.
Label maker costs like $30.
Rapashi.
The labels cost like $10. What we do is, I still have stuff in here. What we'll do is we'll take one of these tubs and I don't know what you guys call this, a Chinese wax pencil, and we'll write right on the tub. Right on that tub.
Perfect.
They have these erasable markers. Yeah, I can take that right off.
Oh, erasable.
Grease pencil.
Draw on you?
No, it's not that erasable.
I can't
Nanette.
draw on you?
Erasable
Did you
markers.
just write Nan on that?
I couldn't fit it all in because I wrote Wally way too big.
Nan?
So instead of those markers, use one of these, and when you have to, just wipe it off with a paper towel and move your animals or whatever and write it on the next bin.
Guys, just in case you didn't notice, don't call Nanette Nan. She got super pissed in the face right there.
Yeah,
She thought he wrote Nan on there and got really mad. Don't call her Nan. Frank, don't do it, Frank.
Yeah, that's just not one that I like.
Clearly. Yeah, guys, I think a lot of budget tips is reusing stuff you have on hand or that you would have, and it helps the environment.
Yes. Good
using
call.
all this little stuff. Like that's good on a lot of ways. Oh, Chris just called you Nan. It's time to whoop that butt. He's not too old for a whooping.
Get it.
We'll take care of that problem.
I guess Santa isn't coming for somebody this year.
Nope, neither is Nanta. She's not. She's not showing up. So bulk is good. My problem with bulk is I can't always afford. I look at the big price tag on the bulk and I start to be like, I can't justify it. I can't justify that price on feeders because I don't go through them. But 1,000 crickets is as much as buying like 3 dozen at Petco or PetSmart.
Yes.
Or 4 dozen, maybe 50. but you're getting 1,000 instead. So if you have a big collection that needs it, like when I used to breed praying mantises, the bulk box is the way to go. Yeah, imagine feeding one cricket to 100 deli cups. Just that's a day. That's a day. I can't do that anymore. So just wait. He uninvited himself when he saw the video intro. Chris is ashamed now.
I do know where you live, sir.
Oh my goodness. So that we're using the buying things for multiple projects. So buying something that's going to justify and supply multiple projects, like and bulk sized. I have 50 pounds of this grout that you can use essentially for planted tanks, planted underwater or above water. It's basically chemically neutral or pH neutral. Whereas concrete I have this great concrete product, but the concrete, I guess, is super pH and murders plants. Like plants just die instantly, basically. No. So unless you soak it for 6 weeks. So my waterfall that I sculpted painstakingly is currently in a bucket of water that I change every 2 days. Yeah, because that it's got to be ready to go.
Somebody said on here also to split your bulk orders with friends.
Yes.
If you've got somebody else and you don't need it all. 503 mentioned it.
Somebody's reading my notes. Absolutely. If you can't afford it all, get together with your local herp society and talk to people there. Hey, I need deli cups for the show coming up. I'll probably use 50. They come in 250 packs. Who wants to go in with me?
Yeah.
Split it up.
If you happen to have a table at a show, you can do trades or get to know people that do supplies that you can kind of run deals with. Connections, networking, like you're saying, split things with friends, but networking is huge. I wanted to say something earlier. Somebody was talking about budgeting. If you're on a small budget, I don't remember who it was. I'm sorry. If you have, I think it was Miso Pods. If you are buying animals spontaneously, you're just impulse buying, that's not just bad for your budget. I feel like that's bad for the animal. It is. I can do a little bit of that. I think a lot of us can because we have stuff on hand to make like kind of a makeshift setup for a little bit. But I got an email or I got a message just this week. Somebody bought some kind of snake that needs to eat ant eggs, and they bought them, and they're messaging me like, "Where do I get ant eggs?" And I'm like, "Are you crazy? Like, what are you talking about?" And then of course I wanted them. I'm like, I have a surplus of ant eggs, which would be great. But in my little research, there's this little blind snake that looks like a worm. It looks like a worm with eyeballs, and it would get murdered. My ants would murder it, so I can't do that. But yeah, the impulse buys they kill you. And at a show, I got invited to a show recently to come do, well, not invited, but hey, come to a show and pick these up, and you won't have to pay shipping. So shipping was $20. Gas there and back was going to be at least $15. Getting into the show is whatever it is, probably $10. Plus, I'm going to spend money on some crap I didn't even show up to buy, because that's what you do, lunch or whatever. Like I was like, I'll just pay the $20. So yeah, think about that, guys. If you can weasel your way into a show for free, if you can weasel your way in there, do that thing. Yeah.
You mentioned impulse buying. If you need to go for
I was asking if you're going to discuss shipping.
Nah, shipping. I don't think shipping is. We're going to do an episode on shipping later.
Oh, cool.
But I don't think shipping is qualified for what we're talking about. It's a little above what the average keeper is going to do.
Keeper does. Okay.
Yeah.
I've got a couple of things
good thought though, Nanette.
Yeah. You mentioned impulse buying. One of my very first impulse buys when I got into reptiles, I have a pair of leopard geckos. I know how to keep reptiles, and I went out and bought 2 horned lizards.
Oh God!
Right. So
wow.
if you don't know, they eat ants. So I was literally, it was summertime, luckily, and I was looking in the yard for ants for months and months, and they were surviving well. But obviously in wintertime, you have to order ants, and back then I don't think that they were really that common. for feeder supply. So that didn't go very well.
Yeah, they are very. I just saw a setup for them that if you can get them somehow captive bred
Frank.
that can eat other things, that will eat other things, but I think there's stuff in the ants that they actually need to thrive.
Yep.
And the only setup I've seen for them that was amazing is somebody had 4 ant colonies that had the potential to feed up into the horned lizards. Like they would pull a plug on one and put a new tube in there, and the ants would come out, and as they came out, the lizards were just sitting there picking them off. It was pretty amazing. But that took 4 thriving ant colonies to keep them fed and not wipe out the colonies. So, yeah, but that was back in the day when we were young men, and you could get anything at an expo, and it was wild. That was the Wild West of exotics keeping.
I bought a hippopotamus.
See? It was delicious.
It was delicious. Buy in bulk. Buy in bulk.
He's still got some in his freezer, you guys. Ask Wally for his hippo rub.
Jerky.
Hippo jerky. Oh, you know what? That's something I haven't had. And that's staring into my soul, Frank. Or Frank. All right. What else? What else did we not cover? What have you got on your spreadsheet for this episode? What did we miss?
I have a couple of other things. You mentioned bulk. You mentioned bioactive and the screening. I'm losing the word for them. The balls.
The mesh.
Not the mesh, but the balls underneath the clay balls.
Oh yeah. The clay balls or substrate. Yeah.
Yeah. There's a name for this. No. Well, instead of going out and getting those balls, I'm gonna when we stop the show, the second we do, I'm gonna remember that name. But anyways, instead of those balls, which cost I don't even know how much for a bag,
those expanded clay, the expanded clay balls you're talking, yeah.
Go out and get a product called Turfus by the bag. You can get a 40-pound bag for probably about $20. It's the same doggone thing. It's the stuff that they use in baseball outfields to absorb the water.
It's wild what you can get if you just buy the Home Depot version instead of the Expo version, because or the Exoterra version. No disrespect to Exoterra, but
right,
they have to make their money, but it's the same thing. And so get that thing. There's a clay-based cat litter that you can use that is non-clumping that you can use the same way, or for a bioactive filter medium. Because it grows that bacteria on it, right? It's got enough space and nooks and crannies. So hydroponic, yes, the little clay balls. I have them. I actually have a ton in the garage right now that I didn't even think of.
And they're like $20 for a bag, right? For a little, probably 5-pound bag.
Yeah. Well, I got them from I got mine from a nursery, so a plant nursery. So mine was a lot cheaper. Like you said, they were using it for gravel fill or something.
Yeah.
And so I got it a lot cheaper. I think I got a 40-pound bag for $20 or something like that. So, and 40 pounds of those things or whatever, it's a lot.
Yes.
Weigh nothing. Hydro balls. There you go. Hydro balls is the short name. I was building my own. Speaking of budgets, I was trying to build a hydroponic system for apartment patios. Because I felt like there's food deserts in America, right? And a lot of it is around apartment buildings. So I was like, let me build this, or I'll design a budget hydroponic kit for patios. And it cost me about $400 to build. That's not a good budget item. So, I still have the pieces outside, but I never put it back together. But my prototype cost me about $400. So my wife was not proud. But I was growing tilapia out there too in the hydroponic part, so that was kind of cool. They're not so gross when you know where they came from and what they're eating.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't eat them.
Egg crate works too. That white egg crate works for.
Oh yeah.
For what?
For the water,
water.
the bottom area of a bioactive to collect the water, you can use the white egg crate.
Yeah, they're meant
smart.
Yeah.
Look at that. Everybody's giving me some. I'm getting some schooling today. There's so many repurposes for so many things. For fish fry, the when you get a pizza, do you guys get pizza from places where they have that plastic screen underneath? So
Sure.
no, you don't have.
I
that?
do. Yeah.
Where do you get pizza with plastic screen?
Back in when we used to go to that place in Illinois. RJ's.
It's Illinois. It might be an Illinois thing because
No.
most people don't know what I'm talking about.
No, I don't remember getting it. Okay.
You can use that stuff where you use the yarn to kind of go through the
Yes.
grate, Okay,
Yep.
so it's essentially that thing. I used fishing line to make it into basically a ball, and for fish fry. Or this was for my newts, my baby newts, so they'd have a hide, and I could still kind of see them and monitor them. I'm currently growing Java moss on a ball of that, so to see if I can get that to be a hide for baby newts. There's too many creative ways you can repurpose trash in this hobby.
Yes, and save money.
And save money.
Which impacts your budget.
It definitely. Any little bit you can save in the hobby in keeping your animals is going to go a long way, especially if you get really creative with it. Don't feed outside bugs. Don't use those instead, unless you're absolutely sure, which is you can't be. You just can't be absolutely sure that the bug's not in contact with some kind of an insect spray or something. So, Leica is much lighter. What is Leica?
I don't know.
Is that one of those like hydroball things? I want to say that's what it is.
I wonder if it's more like a perlite. Perlite?
A perlite? Yeah, maybe. Maybe. I want to go through the comments after this and see what these guys are coming up with or what they're recommending. Because that's scrolling by so fast.
I do that for our lives. I'll rewatch our lives that we do, for our channel, and I'll look at the comments just to see if I can pull anything out.
You use dubia frass for plants, right?
We will take the dubia frass and we'll use that, and the mealworm frass, and we'll use that as fertilizers. So I'll take a tub and I'll walk out to the garden or the flower bed and just throw it on the flowers.
Well, that makes sense. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Like from the old bins?
Yeah. Yep.
Perfect.
I'll walk over to the neighbors and dump, 5 or 6 pounds on 1 or 2 of their flowers. You're welcome.
It's like one leaf.
Never say you're welcome.
Is that what Jordan's dog's been looking up in the backyard?
Yeah.
Unreal. Oh, crazy. You can grow stuff to feed your isopods. You don't have to go buy stuff. You can grow that in your garden now. You can do all of that stuff. Your isopods or your geckos even. You could do that.
Angie used to go out and find mushrooms for us, and we would, let them dry out until they were leathery, and then, you take a box knife and just slice them up, throw them right into the isopod bins.
We use the peels from potatoes and
the peels from potatoes.
There you go. Mine never really cared about the peels from potatoes. Yams.
The dubias will eat them.
Okay. I'll have to try that.
Will eat that. That's where I end up throwing that in.
I let my dubias go, and I have a surplus of dubias for I have one thing that eats them, so I might have to pick up a lizard to help me out, but like a beardy or something.
Coral Reef 96 just said, feed your isopods dead feeders like crickets. I can't. If I have crickets and I'm done with feeding the live ones and I have, 20 or 30 dead ones, I cannot throw them away. I'll put them in a little cup and they'll go on the shelf until we feed the isopods, and I'll use those up with the chow and, some mushrooms or some flakes or whatever. I like putting 2 or 3 things in there, but absolutely, if I have dead mealworms or crickets that have died, I'll throw them in a cup and use them. Absolutely. Good suggestion.
Any of the dead bugs. Yeah, especially dried out already.
Yes. Lots of protein.
Grumpy Lil Moose. That's got to be one of your people, Wally.
I don't know. Who is that?
Grumpy Lil Moose.
Who is that?
Hey, Grumpy, how you doing?
That's awesome. Welcome to the show. That's a great name. I'm not even going to mess with that one. I'm going to leave that as is. No notes. I'm sure isopods would even be able to eat rabbit poop. Yeah, kind of. I would imagine. I'm not a big poop feeder for my isopods. they'll do it, but I don't feel like it's a big deal for them. I feel like there's a lot of other things that'll eat poop.
And easier. Yeah.
Yeah, like we're gonna talk to Kevin Nasser about dung beetles coming up here, so that'll be a good poop episode. We're gonna get a lot. That if you like poop jokes, that's gonna be the episode to watch, you guys. Expect. I have a third grader mind. That's gonna be epic for poop jokes. All day they'll eat the poop. I mean, they'll eat it.
Yeah.
I don't know. And, it's probably gut loaded, kind of, not to be stupid. Guinea pig poop. Rabbit poop makes great for your compost.
I'm gonna comment on Angie's point about my isopods love snakes to shed, and I know they do. I've talked to so many people snake shed, but I also talked to a person, this is about 2 or 3 years ago, that was feeding, and I'm sure people that have heard, me on my channel have heard this, but he was feeding snake shed, and all of a sudden he lost all of his isopods. Went round and round and round trying to figure out what was wrong. We finally figured out that he was dusting his snakes for mites, a couple of months before he started feeding the sheds, and that mite powder killed all of his, and he had 50, 60, 75 cultures of isopods, and they all went down at the same time.
Yeah, almost. Yeah, he lost almost everything. I know who you're talking about because I talked about it with him at length. That was back when we were doing the live chats on. That came up there. So I'm glad that he reached out to you, because we were all like, there were like 7 or 8 of us. They were like, I have no idea who do that, and that's just devastating. People reached out and sent him a bunch of stuff through that group. So it didn't recoup all of his losses, but it helped. Then as a follow-up, he found a friend who was in trouble financially, sold all of his isopods to give his friend the money. So what a great guy. You guys.
Yep.
Honestly, he's one of the best people I've ever met.
Yep.
One of the best human beings.
Yep.
We've
got about 5 more minutes, Josh.
We do. Do you have more songs?
To do.
No more songs.
I don't have any more songs. I don't have anything.
We're good. Do you guys have any questions? Anybody got any questions in the audience here?
Andy wanted to ask about the electricity, and the biggest thing that we can save for electricity is we heat our leopard gecko room. So we insulate in plastic, and we have a space heater, and that brings the temperature up. We use a lot of flat heat tape. Heat tape is the 3 watt or 6 watt, 3-inch, 4-inch tape that you can put down under the tubs and then hook it up to electricity, a thermostat and electricity, and you can heat a whole rack without heating each individual animal. We use shop lights all over the place, LED shop lights instead of individual lights all over the place. So that saves a lot of electricity.
And they're on timers.
And they're all on timers.
Timers save so much. Timers save so much electricity.
Yes. Here's an absolutely perfect way that you can save a lot in this hobby. Who uses UVB lights? If you use UVB lights, so you have a certain lifespan, let's say you're using the coils, I'm going to throw a plug out here. You probably shouldn't use the coils. Go out to ZoomEd or go out to VivTech and get one of their bulbs. They're more expensive, but they'll last 20 times longer than the coil bulbs. But anyways, that's a good way to save money. But instead of running your UVB lights from 8 o'clock in the morning until 7 o'clock at night or however, animals generally don't need that full light the whole day. Animals will, let's talk about day geckos. Day geckos come out, in the middle of the day sometimes to get that UVB, but they'll sit behind the tree, then they'll move in front of the tree, they'll absorb the UVB for 10 to 15 minutes and then go back. Run your lights, first time that you turn your lights on in the morning, you'll have your light set, your regular light set for, let's say, 7 o'clock, run your UVB for an hour, turn your UVB off, then turn it back on like at 11 to 12, and then turn it back on to 2 to 3, and then back on, an hour before lights go out. So you don't run your UVBs the whole time. And you probably don't even need it going on 4 times. You could probably make good for 2 times.
Okay. Yeah, just somebody said, just 6 hours or so. Yeah, Sandy Sandy
Yeah, I'm
says
saying
6
2 hours with UVB is probably all that you really need, especially with animals that aren't out all the time. And even those animals are, I'm not talking about Uromastics or things like that, but like day geckos or chameleons, they're not getting 100% of UVB from 8 o'clock in the morning until 8 o'clock at night.
Right. So don't overdo it. Don't blow those bulbs, because that's a big investment. Those UVB bulbs are not like about the LED shop lights. Now the LED shop lights for your plants are just fine.
Yeah,
Just fine. They're going to do great on those lights, and they're like $30 for a 3-foot strip. Go nuts.
Yep.
$40 maybe. So many great tips. What's that?
Menards had those LED lights, or
we
not?
did get some from Menards. I've been getting mine from Amazon, and I look at the Kelvin rating, and I try to get something around 5,500, 45 to 5,500 to benefit the plants and to add a little bit more spectrum to the light. Not saying that, that replaces UVB, but it certainly helps, just give the plants more oomph.
Oh, sure. You can do better, but they'll do fine. They'll be fine. I'm growing a lot of stuff right now that I harvested or purchased for when I get the terrariums going. They'll be ready to go. It's all planning, guys. Planning. Make a little sketchbook. Do it out. Get a spreadsheet, or make a bunch of notes on a piece of paper that will make no sense to you in a month. Save big money at Menards.
Or a whiteboard across your room.
Yes. I need more whiteboard. I'm using mine right now to house from my metal rack to keep stuff up off the off the metal rack. That's what my whiteboard turned into. Repurpose.
Yes.
So I'm not trying to draw stuff upside down and backwards here when I'm doing the show. That's all I got. Well, you got any other tips?
We've talked about a lot today.
We have. We've been around a lot.
We have. We've had our great guests come on the show and enlighten us. Rudy by Decent Price Sphagnum moss. I looked. Go to Josh's Frogs. You can. This sounds crazy. This sounds crazy. I've looked on Amazon. You want the New Zealand moss if you can find it, but that stuff is like for 100 grams. It's like 15 to 20 bucks. Go to Josh's Frogs. It's not quite as good as the New Zealand sphagnum moss, but it's really super good. You can get a bale of it. It's probably
it was a block.
It was a big block.
It was a big block.
A big block. It was as big as my tummy block. And it was like
wow,
$50,
$50 or $60. They had it on at their show, and we found it.
Okay, awesome. Josh's Frogs new website. How do you guys like it? Okay,
Haven't seen it.
Yeah, I would not go there to try to find a deal. That's pretty cool to see that.
We were at a show, and we were walking through the show, and he had them out, and it was like, oh, that'll work, because we couldn't find it.
Wild.
Yeah.
I would not think they would have a deal. They do not have that reputation, and I've never seen them have I've never been like, wow, what a great price. Like, they have decent stuff, but I've never once been blown away by their price. That sounds like a really good price, though.
Yes.
Is the stream frozen for everyone? God, I hope not.
No, it's just U503. Yeah,
I hope so.
Internet was wonky.
I can see everyone else. Nobody else is saying anything. So, this has been a good episode.
This has. I appreciate it. You invited me on, and you said, let's talk about budgeting. And I went, what? I'm sorry. Talk about what? And I'm thinking, how can I kind of entertain a little bit to make it fun and somebody laugh at me and try to make it light, and that's what I came up with. So anybody that doesn't like that song or that kind of, having fun, that I apologize, but I had fun.
I don't think
if they don't like having fun with stuff and making fun of stuff, they should not be one of my audience members. So that's the priority here, is the fun, and then the information comes with it. So I have to up my game. I was totally unprepared, you guys. Wally was just like, are you monetized yet? No. Then do you mind if I use
Game on
an actual song? And I was like, nah, man, go nuts. We're going to do more of that.
Game on.
And
it took me more time to edit that little piece of music than we've been going tonight. We've been going for an hour and a half. It took me 2 hours to edit out all the swear words out of that 1 minute of. No, it didn't. It took me a lot of time.
They enjoy laughing at you.
Is that a bad? Should I have not used that word? I can use that word, right? I don't know.
Crimson Chin.
What?
You're gonna be referred to as Crimson Chin.
Why? No, that's not out. That's not official yet, Chris. So we had a bet. We're going to end on this because we really do have to go. And Nanette's got tons of homework. But we had a bet going into the reptile show that we just did at Sewer Fest. And somebody said, "Oh, Crystal, good luck selling more than your grandpa." And she said, "Yeah, I'm going to sell." And somebody said, "You should bet your grandpa." And then it went from there. What are you going to shave off your eyebrows? No. Okay, Crystal, if you lose, you have to shave off your eyebrows. No, that. And I finally came up with, well, I tell you what, Crystal, if you sell more than me at the reptile show, I'll color my goatee pink. How does that sound? Oh yeah, I like that. And we went with that. And then after the show, she wasn't at the table for maybe 20 minutes the whole show.
She was with a friend a lot.
She was with a friend, and that's cool. That's really cool. She had a bunch of fun. So after the show, Grandpa, I sold more than you. How? You weren't at the table. Well, I combined with Grandma. And we're using, and I said, but I sold more than Grandma did. Well, I think I did. But anyways, she goes, no, you didn't. We sold isopods. So we counted at each individual isopod compared to your geckos.
Yeah, that's a granddaughter thing. My daughter would pull that same crap on me. So, and I'd let it fly because
Crystal won.
I'm a dumb dad. I would be like, all right, fine. That was creative. Extra points for creativity.
Yes. So we might have to be doing some chin painting. What am I called? Crimson Chin?
Yeah, the Crimson Chin. Yeah. Isn't that from Phineas and Ferb?
What?
I thought that was from Phineas and Ferb. Maybe I'm thinking of something else. The bronze kneecap?
No.
I got to figure out what Frank's talking about. I'm hoping it's Phineas and Ferb. All right, well, guys, thank you for coming on. Go get that homework done.
Yeah.
New math is hard.
No, it's not math this time. But new math is hard.
We just found out now, guys, Nanette is doing all of Crystal's homework for her. I think that's a thing. And Fairly Odd Parents. All right, it's Fairly Odd Parents. All right, that's fair. Frank, we should get
Josh.
Anytime, you guys. Thank you. So I was
very entertained.
I needed that laugh. So
we all do.
Awesome. Have a great night. We'll see you again in 2 weeks? All right.
Yeah.
Talk to you later, Wally.
Bye-bye.
Talk to you later, Nanette. All right, it's time for them to do homework, guys. Let's see. We've got some stuff coming up. So next week, we're talking to Ben Quintanas. So we're not messing around this time. We're going to talk to Ben about something. I don't remember what, but it's Ben. So let's just have him on. So I can check right now while we talk about something else. So also the personal story. I don't think anyone watching this knows about this right now, but I had a little bit of a medical scare. We've talked about mental health before. If you don't want to hear about a personal health issue, tune out now. If you do and you're sticking around, awesome. Yeah, we already lost like 6 people. So what happened is I went to the doctor for all kinds of GI issues, and what we found is that, Blue Death Fainters we're going to talk about. What we found out is that I had all kinds of GI issues. I had them scoping me all over the place. So the first thing they found was a massive ulcer in the stomach, right? So they're like just before the stomach. So that's been causing problems. They also found we have history of like backside cancer in my family, in the men in my family. So that was a concern. And they found something. They just said they found something. So they took a sample, took it to the lab, took some other samples, and I had been sitting in fear for like 6 days. So what we found is tapeworms. So somehow, a couple years ago, they assumed I picked up some tapeworms. So I was talking to Russ about this, and I need to figure out how to get a setup to keep my tapeworms. My husbandry is really good because I've kept them going for 3 years. I've kept this colony going for 3 years, you guys. So now as I purge them, yeah, there's a million ways you could pick them up, apparently, Frank. If you have a, let's say, this is the example that was given to me. If you are playing catch with your kid in the yard and a raccoon has pooped in your yard and it gets rained on and it spreads a little bit, that'll spread the eggs out a little bit. So then you get that on the ball and then you have a sandwich because you're having a picnic or something and you don't wash your hands because you were just playing catch. What are you going to wash your hands for? That could happen. That could happen. It could be that easy. Yeah, you don't have to handle cat poop specifically and then not wash your hands. You just, yeah, you've been in there, he said, for at least 3 years. So, yeah, my last scan was like 5 years ago. So they didn't see anything then. So it was somewhere between then and now. So they do cause severe cramping and some colorful issues, that color being red. Yeah, they're not great. So search up whale tapeworms. I don't think I have those. But yeah. So they're not that hard to get. But it's not common and it doesn't normally go this long. So and the growth thing was benign. So no big deal. This is like a cyst. So they're gonna keep an eye on it. But yeah, I was terrified for like a couple days. Wally's one of the few people I told at all alive. So yeah. So yeah, we're gonna do a setup. We're gonna do a video of my brand new tapeworm colony. We're gonna set it out. So, yeah, the medication's super easy. It's 2 pills every 2 weeks, and for 6 weeks they have me on it because this is like I'm riddled. Okay, it's like, yeah, it might be ivermectin. No, it's not ivermectin. It's these 2 yellow pills. I don't remember the name of the medication. It's these 2 yellow pills. It might be like pill form ivermectin or some other form of it. So it's for 2 pills every week for 6 weeks, and that should be good. And then a retest. So don't know if you ever had one of those tests. You get to put a little bowl on your toilet and then go and then put a lid on that and take it with you. It's not great. Did they take them out? They didn't find them, Angie. So you take a pill that kills them and then you get rid of them yourself. So they didn't see any. They did all kinds of scans. So I had an MRI and everything because it was so severe. Like the blood from both ends was so severe. They didn't see anything. The doctor said they didn't see anything on those scans of massive crazy ones. So that you see on TV, like the 12-footers. So I was hoping for a world record if I was going to have that. Like, give me one I could use as a belt. It depends, Sandy. I don't think mine are very long. I'm going to be checking. To be honest, I'm gonna be checking every day to see what kind of interesting stuff. I used to be a vet tech, so this is fascinating to me to be that guy. Yeah, it's a crazy thing. It's not my proudest moment, but I share all kinds of stuff with you. The key point was how afraid I was and how literally tapeworms was a massive relief. Like that was a huge relief to me to hear it was that and not cancer. It's way better than cancer, right? So, yeah, so other than that, healthy as I've been, so we're good. And my spirits are way up because I just got that news yesterday. So spirits are way up. Plus, I had Wally make me laugh harder than I've laughed in probably 6 months. So whale tapeworms get 130 feet. Jesus, Frank, stop scaring me. I know an entomologist was trying to get human lice. Yeah, bug people are kind of crazy. But I talked to Russ about what he thought I could do for an enclosure to keep them happy. So he didn't know I was kidding. He thought I was like seriously considering it because I'm a little crazy. But I am the enclosure for the time being. So, yeah. So there's that. In other news, we're going to be working with Luch Carlucci. You've seen him on here. You'll see him again. He's doing all kinds. He does all kinds of like designs on stuff. He could put your logo or your choice of thing on shirts or those little coaster things, those little wooden coasters, stickers, I think. I don't know. You'll have to reach out to him. Tons of stuff. So we're going to get t-shirts made. If you guys want one, if you're interested, let me know on Facebook at the ISO Buddies group. The first one is going to say, "Hey, Jaglone," and that's it. That's all it's going to say. It's going to be a red shirt it's going to be Italian lettering. I'm not Italian, but A Giglone is Italian, kind of. So it's going to say that across the front in white. A is going to be white, and Giglone is going to be green. For Coral, we were thinking about doing one that says "Still good, eh?" Which is the it's the Canadian version of Goodwill. It's called "Still Good, eh?" So hopefully you laugh at that. Yeah, but Lucha is really talented, so he does all that. He's got his fingers in a lot of pies. So, but that's one of them that I want to try to help him utilize. So, if you have other T-shirt ideas, we're going to get some made with the redone logo of ISO Buddies. He's going to help me redo the logo too. But we're going to do shirts with the logo on it. So if you're interested in merch from the show or related to the show, we're going to have a Gigamorphous Rambambashams is going to be on. I need to draw a creature that goes with that. So Gigamorphous Rambambashams. There's Luch. Hey, he showed up. I didn't notice you were in here. Luch, you have to catch the beginning. If you don't watch anything else, watch the first 5 minutes of this video. If you don't pee your pants, I'll give you your money back. So, so Luch is going to help us out with merch, and we're going to try to see what we can do for that. So the more merch we sell, the cheaper it could be, I think. I don't know for sure, but Luch is going to do all the pricing, and we're going to see. It might support the show, too. So that would be a cool way to support the show and actually get something. So instead of just, we did some video on the show that you guys didn't get to see, on the Patreon that you guys didn't get to see. So, so we're running a little long. We have Patreon. We have Facebook. We have kind of an Instagram. I really need to start using Instagram, but I can't figure it out. I don't get it. It does nothing for me. The Rambambasham t-shirt. Okay. All right. Definitely. See, I knew there'd be like a niche need for that. So we'll work on a Rambambasham. I'm going to work on the creature. That was with Russ, right? Is that where we came up with that on a Russ episode? Anyway, so we're going to talk about that. We're going to do the merch, and we still have our Patreon. You guys coming to the show is awesome. If you decide you'd like to be a patron, it's super easy. Go to Patreon/IsoBuddies, or Patreon.com/IsoBuddies. I don't know how it works. The link will be down in the bottom. It really helps. We're going to be doing a lot more, so we want to try to do a lot more for you guys and for the show, and maybe do other videos throughout the week so that we not live streams, just videos. It was the stupid names of ISOs. Oh, that was it. Okay, awesome. Then it should be some kind of isopod. Okay, Gigamorphous Rambambasham is definitely going to be an isopod. Okay, cool. It's going to be awesome. That's going to be a really cool isopod that it'll look cool that nobody wants it. So, like, picture Scooby Dumb. Was that his name? Was that the cousin that was really stupid? Scooby Dumb. I think that was his name. Picture him as an isopod with those goofy buck teeth. Mater. Picture Mater as an isopod. That'll be Gigamorphous Rambambasham. Yes, those were the dumbest names. They were some stupid names on that episode. I think that's all I got, guys. Do you have any questions? Are we good? Lucha, looks like you might be busy. So I hope you're ready for it. So yeah. Other than that, guys, have a good week. Next week is Ben Quintanas, and that I forgot I was talking to him about blue death fending beetles. So I got to talk to Russ because I think I have Russ coming out talking about blue death fending beetles in May. So we might change that up a little bit. Russ, I can talk to Russ about anything, so that'll work out really well. Guys, have a great week, and I love you, and find something positive to do. Do it for me. So find something positive to do in honor of my tapeworms. So we'll name the colony Jeff. Okay? All right. Talk to you later, guys. I love you.